So what's the Grape Explorer talking about today? Well, we're back to our Bordeaux series, and where we try to highlight a Grand Cru Classé Chateau that we feel is very, very interesting to talk about, and we try to give you an update of what we feel is going on with vintages, new projects. But we want to highlight a great wine today. This is called Mouton Rothschild. And Mouton Rothschild is actually owned by Baron Philippe Rothschild. They are cousins of Eric Rothschild. But this has got quite an interesting history to it that I like to follow because, of course, it only became a first growth in 1973. So it really didn't make the cut, the classification of 1855. But it was the only wine that they actually changed in the classification in 1973 to become what was called a first growth. So it was a tribute to Baron Philippe Rothschild to actually elevate this wine today. So when you I wanted to highlight this wine here. This is a six-pack that came from the cellar, original wooden case of the 2019 vintage, which was fabulous vintage, beautiful, really powerful wines. Mouton, as opposed to Lafite, usually comes out of the gate, usually very powerful, dense wines. I mean, the colors are dark and the really rich, full-bodied wines. Beautiful property that they have here, Mouton Rothschild. A shout out to the Cotton family. Philippe Cottin, who ran this property for many years, passed away in 2013. We today are dealing with his daughter Martine, and she's just telling me wonderful stories about her dad and how they lived in Pauillac, which is a very tiny area. A lot of people don't realize it, but this is all farms and vineyards and not a big place, but you have some of the most high profile wineries in all of this area right here, which is called Pauillac. So see, we're right in here, and you've got three first growths that exist in the Pauillac area, which are Latour, Mouton, and Lafite. So you got three of the power hitters that we call Mouton Rothschild, obviously getting that elevation in 1973. But we had a chance to at least talk about the 22 vintage, which I think a lot of people are rivaling now to the 82. 82 Mouton was considered one of the finest wines in the 82 vintage. So we're looking at 2022 as rivaling those wines. And it'll be interesting to see how these wines evolve as we get a little more into the bottle, as we get into tastings. But we really wanted to highlight this property today. So if you've never been to Mouton Rothschild, they are collectors of artwork. So if you can see some of the beautiful statues and paintings that actually exist at Mouton Rothschild. And again, these are wines that are expensive. They're not for everybody. They are the darlings of collectors for many years, because these wines can actually achieve great value if you buy them in futures, which of course this 2019 was bought at futures. So we're banking on this wine to actually move and surge in price as we get a little along and out of 2023 and we get into 24, and we'll see where the prices are going. But again, I wanted to highlight this property because, first of all, I love Mouton Rothschild. I love everything about this property. I think these wines are fabulous. Mouton, they're very easy people to deal with too. They're not, certain chateaus, I won't mention names, are holding back wines and not really pushing those wines out. Chateau Mouton is in the business to sell wines. When I talked to the managing director one day, he said, the best wine that I think is in the world is the one that's out the door and sold. So we're not into speculation. We're not holding on to wines. We want to get the wine out there into the public, and I applaud them for doing that, because today it's all banks and finance companies and everything like that looking at the bottom line when they try to make these wines. But this is all still family. It's owned by Baron Philippe's family, so everything is beautifully maintained and manicured. But I wanted to highlight this as to our Bordeaux series. Again, this is David Kohl talking about Grand Cru Classé and talking about great Bordeaux.